Hello, folks. I'm OdinSpack, and welcome back to 33 years and counting of my favorite games. This is part 22, the year 2001. Now, 2001 has a lot of games that I like, but most of them are not in that realm of like these are some of my most favorite games ever. There's definitely a lot that I think are good games, but none of them are gonna fall. None of them are gonna be like that top five entry for me on a game list. I mean, I could probably say that for many years, but I'm kind of preceding this because there's like a lot of honorable mentions, and that's because it was really tough to try and define my top three for 2001. As we start getting into these earlier years, there's just a lot of games that really stick with me, and it's like I find a hard time not bringing them up. So we're gonna try and lightning round. I said this before. We're gonna try and lightning round these honorable mentions. I got a whole bunch. This first one's gonna be a little slower to talk about because this one definitely would be this one's a stronger contender for top three. So my first honorable mention is gonna go to Dragon Warrior Monsters 2. There's two versions of it. There's Terra's Adventure and Kobe's Journey. I got Terra's Adventure probably because when this game came out, you know, it's like a boy and a girl version, so you know that most people who buying it for their sons back in the day, and there wasn't as many girls playing games, or at least that was like the stigma of it back then. I don't know if that's the right word, um, but so I ended up getting Terra's Adventure, which it's funny because both my brother and my parents both got me this game on Christmas because I did want Dragon Warrior Monsters 2, and they both got me Terra's Adventure, I guess because they couldn't find Kobe's Journey. I'm just assuming this is why they couldn't find this for me. I could be completely wrong, but I'm like inclined to believe that is probably why, Terra's Adventure was still in stores. That's not important to this at all. I've never played Kobe's Journey. I don't really need to because it's essentially, Pokemon Red and Blue situation where it's the same game. There's just different monsters in each one. This was like this was like the perfect, uh, the perfect game for me back in that time because Pokemon, not like to knock anything on Pokemon, but Pokemon was like a unique RPG to the time, whereas Dragon Quest or Dragon Warrior was more of like the traditional RPG. So Dragon Warrior Monsters is like that blend of like the Pokemon style of getting monsters, but it also has the more traditional RPG formula to it of having like a group of characters that you fight with, and they all have like regular RPG mechanics that just aren't found in Pokemon, if that makes sense. Like Pokemon has its own thing, and Dragon Quest is more of that traditional RPG flair. I hope this is all making sense as to why I really like this game. I actually put a couple hundred hours into this one. I'm pretty sure I bought many AA batteries to play this game. Really did enjoy it a lot. So I really wanted to give this one just a more notable honorable mention here because I really did enjoy this game, but it just fell shy of my top three. Some other quick honorable mentions: Halo Combat Evolved, which was the first in the Halo series. Xbox came out this year. Played it for the first time last year. Really enjoyed it. Don't know why I hadn't really played through the campaign before that, but decided to give it a go last year and had a good time with it. Golden Sun on the Game Boy Advance. Uh, I've never played the sequel, which is basically like the continuation of the game. But I remember borrowing Golden Sun off my friend, playing through it all the way, really enjoyed it. Eventually would get the game myself, play through it all the way through. So I think I've beaten it twice at this point. But it's a solid RPG. Like I don't really have much to say on it. It's definitely just it's cool. It has lots of neat puzzle elements. I had already played Lufia on the SNES before this, and that's like the strongest comparison I have for this game because this game is like very like puzzle heavy on the overworld, especially with all the different like spells that you get. And Lufia has that same vibe to me, where it's very puzzle heavy in like that RPG setting. So that's what Golden Sun really reminds me of. I don't know. It's a good thing too. I'm not saying this is like a bad comparison, but it's just kind of what it reminds me of. So it's not like Golden Sun didn't really like stand out to me as like this like amazing RPG that everyone loves, but I did enjoy it. Kirby Tilt and Tumble. I did a Let's Play of this back in the day. In order to play it on your TV, you gotta literally, if you want to play it officially on your TV, you gotta use the Game Boy player and do all that moving around your GameCube ridiculousness. But I gave this an honorable mention, pretty much for that, just due to the craziness that it is. I don't think this is like an amazing game, but I really enjoy it. Definitely a fun playthrough. Mega Man X5, another game I've done a Let's Play of. This is definitely where Mega Man X definitely starts to like, not be as good as it originally was. I like this more than X4 though, which is probably not a common take. But I think it's just more of a nostalgia to me because I played this before I did play X4. I like the fact that you can switch between X and 0 in this game. I like that ability. Like X4 is like you have dedicated X and 0 playthroughs, which is fine. Don't get me wrong. But I like the ability that you can switch between them. And there's like a little fun like, hey, you get to keep the armor from the 4th game in this one, which I think is pretty neat. They just like never did that before. They're just like make you start from scratch every time. So I thought that was pretty cool. And then Mega Man Extreme 2 on the Game Boy Color, my last honorable mention here. This was like, I really wanted a Game Boy Advance, and I believe it had come out this year in North America. And, well, I didn't get one for Christmas, but I did get this game. I guess I got this and Dragon Warrior. I don't know how that happened. Actually, I think I got this from my grandparents, which, I mean, my parents obviously told them. I mean, I'm not gonna get into that. That's not important. But this was I didn't really know too much about this one, but this one's kind of crazy in the fact that it's it's like a throwback game. It's like a demake of Mega Man X's like 1, 2, and 3. It's majority 2 and 3. But like it has like some of the Mavericks from those games, and then it has like their own characters at the end. But it's really weird to hear like 8-bit Game Boy versions of some of the Super Nintendo songs. Some of them, honestly, they kind of sound better. I know that's weird to say that, but the Game Boy sound chip is pretty good. Game Boy Advance, but Game Boy, pretty dang good. So it's acquired taste, maybe, I don't know. Anyway, it's pretty good for being a Game Boy Color game. You think it would be kind of hard to control a Mega Man X game, because that's what Mega Man Extreme 2 is. It's basically Mega Man X 8-bit-ified. You think that'd be difficult to control with only like A, B, and the D-pad, but it surprisingly controls really well. So I never played Extreme 1, but 2 I definitely enjoyed. All right, there's my honorable mentions. I think I did pretty good for having 6 of them. Let's go into the bronze medal for 2001. It's going to go to Paper Mario on the N64. I think this is the last Nintendo published game on the N64. I could be wrong here. But it's definitely the last one I remember playing, like before, we moved on to like GameCube and whatnot. I remember playing this, and then like my brother went to college, I think, or maybe I don't know. I can't remember if that's exactly what happened. It was something like that. I remember not getting to play Paper Mario very much because he had moved away, and people love Paper Mario. People have been wanting the series to go back to this style ever since Thousand Year Door. Like Thousand Year Door is in this style, but I mean like Super Paper Mario and Beyond. They changed up how the game works, and people still want this. There's not fan made, but like there's Paper Mario-esque games that are coming out now. Because people want that style of gameplay, and Nintendo's not doing it, so they're gonna do it. So people love the style of game, and the reason is because it works. It's a Paper Mario. I think what I really enjoy about Paper Mario is the paper part is just an aesthetic for the game. It has really nothing to do with the game. As the series went on, they started leaning more into, oh, Mario's made of paper. let's have him fold up and do a bunch of stuff, which I honestly I think kind of takes away from it. I think it was neat just having it be part of the aesthetic charm of the game. There not to say that the original Paper Mario doesn't have some moments of that, but it's very rare that it does. Like it's always like when it happens, like, oh yeah, right, he's made of paper. Like, like it's usually in that style of humor, not like it's not like forced. So this game has humor like crazy. It's a really funny game. The combat system is it's not like complicated, but it keeps you engaged in like the action commands that basically continued from Super Mario RPG on the Super Nintendo. This is like an expansion on them, and as opposed to like pressing an A button at a certain time or like rotating a stick, or I guess it's the D-pad in the in Super Mario RPG. Um, like there is timing with the button for sure on some attacks, but some of them are almost like mini game esque in what you have to do, like moving around the cursor on the screen or releasing uh, the analog stick at the right time. Like there's a whole bunch of little games like that in combat to kind of keep you engaged. And like sometimes like it's like if you don't do it you'll lose, and it's like, oh man, like it like really puts you on edge for that. So I really like the combat in this game. The badge system is really fun, and it's nothing too crazy. I think in Thousand Year Door they like really put a focus on that, and like I enjoyed that somewhat, but you could definitely break the game a lot more. I feel like in that game with the badge system than you can in this one. This one's a lot more tame. Um, I've never actually finished Thousand Year Door, by the way. I got very far and never finished it. You may have noticed it didn't even appear in my honorable mentions at all. It's not that I don't enjoy that one. I just really enjoy the original Paper Mario a lot. It just has a charm to it that I just don't think has been captured since. The music's great, story's great. I think it's just a fun playthrough. If you don't like RPGs or have never been wanting to, like, you never knew where to start, like this is a great way to start because Mario is such like a relatable character. Like Mario just does well in all the genres he's in usually. RPG is definitely one of them that he definitely shines. So it's a good familiarity if you like Mario and you want to give an RPG a shot. Paper Mario is a safe bet. So there you go, Paper Mario. Next, for 2001, my silver medal is gonna go to Super Mario. No, it's not. It's gonna go to Super Smash Bros. Melee. I don't even know if a Super Mario game came out in 2001. Maybe on it. Actually, probably Super Mario Advance probably came out. But anyway, Super Smash Bros. Melee on the Nintendo GameCube is my silver medal. I think this is like the tail end of 2001 and one of the launch window games. I don't think it's an actual launch title for the GameCube, but pretty close to the launch of it. Uh, I don't need to talk about Melee as far as its legacy, I feel like, is concerned, because people are still playing it and enjoying it till to today. And I mean, like, it gathers an audience of people who enjoy it. Like, there's still tournaments being run. Like you can go on Twitch and like a lot of like big tournaments will get like these crazy viewership numbers for Super Smash Bros. Melee. Like it is just one of those games that has uh, stood the test of time, and I think that is just due to like how fun it is. Like Smash Bros is a fun series. Melee took everything that was cool about Smash Bros on N64 and just like ramped it up. Uh, and like I think just with the processing power that the GameCube allowed, it just allowed for a lot more smoother gameplay. The models are, a lot nicer looking than the N64. The expanded roster, of course, helps. The music of this game, this now Smash Bros today, like there's like a million songs in the game in all the games, but I think Melee may be like one of the standout ones where it's just like this probably has like the best collection of just amped up fighting game music in a game, because it doesn't like borrow I mean, they're all remixes to be fair, but it doesn't borrow from like past entries or anything like that. There is like three stages from the N64 game, which I guess it does use those songs, but most of the music was like composed for Melee in this. And I think I just think like it's really cool that each of the stages has their own songs in it, and so like you associate songs with certain like stages, whereas in like Smash Bros. Now you can kind of play like any Mario song on any Mario level. I'm not saying that like the soundtrack for the new games is like bad or anything like that. Like there's a million songs. There's probably a lot better songs on that. Probably most of them from Melee are in that game. But at the time, Melee was just really cool for me for like each stage just having like this bopping song to it. Sometimes a second one if the stage had it. Not often, but sometimes. And I just really enjoyed that. Like the temple music, like people really associate the Zelda 2 temple music with that stage because like that's the stage it played on. And like nowadays in the competitive scene, is that like a great stage to play? No, but like a lot of I know I'm not alone in having lots of fun four-player games on that stage. Even two-player games were fun on that stage. Like, and that song like was so epic during it. I don't know how else to say. Also, the Fire Emblem 7 music could play on that stage too. That was before I even knew anything about Fire Emblem. That was my first little intro to Fire Emblem, I guess, was Smash Bros. Melee, and didn't even realize it till years later how much I would enjoy the series. But Smash Bros. Melee is just really fun. It's really smooth to control. I think people like to like complain now, uh, because like it's really hard to do all like the technical stuff, and people associate like glitches. It's not meant to be played that way. I think a game should be played any way that feels fun to you. I really enjoy watching competitive Smash Melee. I think it's really neat. I think people have like really mastered the game. I think that's really cool. But even without all that, the game is still fun to play today, and it was a big part in me enjoying the series moving forward. Smash 64 did, a bit, but Melee was like, that's when like the series like became much more to me was during Melee. So I hope all that made sense. I feel like I'm rambling on here. Let's go into the gold medal. I feel like I just told you my gold medal was Smash Bros. Melee, but that's not true. My gold medal, very important to me and this channel. It couldn't be anything else besides The Legend of Zelda: Oracle of Seasons on the Game Boy Color. I'm wearing the Zelda 1 shirt today because one, I don't have an Oracle of Seasons shirt, so I can't. That would be cool and everything, but I don't. But two, Oracle of Seasons was originally going to be like a Zelda 1 remake or reboot on the Game Boy Color. There was going to be three games: Oracle of Seasons, Ages, and uh, not Time, but Secrets. I mean, like, there's an Oracle of Secrets in the game. I don't know if it actually would have been called Oracle of Secrets. Probably would have been called something else, but anyway. Oracle of Seasons was originally going to be a Zelda 1 reboot from everything that I've read. Lots of elements in the game are very clear of that. A lot of the bosses are throwbacks to Zelda 1 bosses. There's the old guy in the bushes. I guess there's no bushes. Well, no, I guess there is. But like the guy who like makes you pay to fix his door or gives you rupees. You never know which one it's going to be until you talk to him. So it has Zelda 1 qualities definitely in the game. But it is it's kind of crazy. Like I'm talking about Oracle of Seasons, by the way. You may have noticed I didn't mention Ages, and I'll get into that. But Oracle of Seasons is just such a cool, just such a cool Zelda experience on the Game Boy Color. Like I feel like they had the right idea with Link's Awakening, and Link's Awakening is great. Like I'm not like taking away from this, but it felt like they took everything that they had with Link's Awakening and just ramped it up and they just like nailed everything in this to really make it feel like a grand Zelda adventure. It's probably helped with the linked connectivity that's a lot easier to do these days than it was back then. But if you own Oracle Seasons and Ages, it's like one gigantic combined game. That there's like 8 dungeons in each of them, like standard ones. So that's like 16 standard dungeons between both of the titles combined. It's more to it than that. It's not just like it. When you go to Ages, it continues where it left off, but story-wise, it is. And that's just like really cool and something that they don't really do these days. And I think you could really only get something like that because of like something like Pokemon existing with different versions. But Oracle Seasons and Ages are two completely different games. Honestly, I could have given an honorable mention to Oracle of Ages. It just doesn't have the nostalgia that Seasons does for me, and I just don't enjoy the gameplay. Even though the gameplay's the same, but like Seasons, they say that Seasons is more action based and Ages is more puzzle based. And I think just I don't enjoy the puzzles of Ages. I think that's what it is. Like, it's not that Seasons doesn't have puzzles. It's not that Ages doesn't have action. It's just, I don't know. I just don't like the flow of Ages compared to Seasons. Seasons just feels a lot easier to play through than Ages does. And again, it's probably just due to growing up with it. I'm sure other people would say something similar if they grew up with Ages. They would say they like that more than Seasons. If you grew up with both, all the power to you. I only got my choice of one on my birthday, and I went with Seasons, and I really enjoyed it. And the commercial, if you guys have never seen the commercial for Oracle Seasons and Ages, super hype. Definitely not a thing at all you could ever do in the game. But it is the coolest commercial for these games. I'll try and find that on YouTube and link it because it's super cool. But this is just another one of those solid Zelda games. Like sometimes that's all you need. But this one is like a grand Zelda game on the Game Boy Color. Like it's crazy that all of this is on the Game Boy Color. I think that's like kind of like the greatest part about it. Is like that how above and beyond they went for it. And Capcom made it too. I mean, I don't know if that's important or anything, but they did. They developed it. Maybe that's part of the reason why. I guess I just really like Capcom games of this day and age. But all right, well, I guess that's it. I don't think I have a whole lot more to talk about Seasons. But I did enjoy it, and it obviously is a huge important game to my channel because I feel like that's when people really started to discover my channel, and so like it will always be an important game to me. So thank you so much for watching. I will be back next time for the beginning of the millennium with the year 2000, and then after that, we're going to be in the 90s. It's kind of going to be crazy. So I've been OdinSpack, and I'll catch you next time. Goodbye.